Hey students, welcome to another Mr. Ness screencast. Today's aim is containment, and here are your objectives. Please pause the video, look these questions over, and get ready to copy some vocab terms and take some notes. You have been learning about the Cold War, an ideological battle between the US and the Soviet Union that started right after World War II in 1945. And today we are going to look at US foreign policy during the Cold War. Foreign policy is the strategy that a country uses to deal with foreign countries. You've learned some different foreign policies that the US has practiced throughout its history, including the ones listed here. For example, remember that after World War I, Woodrow Wilson advocated for a policy of diplomacy. But Congress rejected his League of Nations and chose to pursue a foreign policy of isolation. Isolation meant staying out of other countries' business. During the Cold War, U.S. foreign policy was influenced by an idea called the Domino Theory. The Domino Theory said that if one country fell to communist control, other countries around it would too. In other words, if communism took hold in just one country, it would eventually spread to others. You can see in this picture why it's called the Domino Theory. If one domino falls, it will cause the others to fall also. Belief in the domino theory led the U.S. to adopt a policy called containment, which was aimed at stopping the spread of communism. The idea was that the U.S. would stop communism anywhere in any country, even a small, distant, or strategically unimportant country, so that it would not spread to other countries. President Harry Truman expressed this idea in a speech which became known as the Truman Doctrine. According to the Truman Doctrine, the U.S. would provide support to any country that was threatened by communism. Support could mean money or weapons or even American troops on the ground. So the Truman Doctrine was a promise that the U.S. would work to stop communist governments from taking control in any country around the world. The Domino Theory, Containment, and the Truman Doctrine led to the U.S. getting involved in a lot of different countries. Here is a list of just a few of those countries. Notice that containment is the opposite of a foreign policy of isolation, because containment required the U.S. to be very involved in the business of other countries. A lot of American tax dollars were used to provide money, weapons, and military support to these countries in order to help contain communism. One of the places where the U.S. was most involved was in Korea. The Korean War was fought between 1950 and 1953, and it was a war between communist forces in North Korea and capitalist forces in South Korea. This was a proxy war in which most of the fighting was done by Koreans and Chinese soldiers. But over 1.5 million U.S. soldiers also fought in the Korean War. 5 million people died. That's a lot of people, including about 40,000 Americans. The war was fought to a stalemate, and in the end, Korea was divided into two countries, much like Germany had been. North Korea was communist and supported by the Soviet Union. South Korea was capitalist and was supported by the United States. Unlike Germany, which is now just one country again, Korea to this day remains divided in two. You'll learn more about the Korean War in class. And now it's time to review the objectives. If you don't know the answer to any of them, just rewind the video and look again. I will see you in class. Bye, students.